I thought I might do a quick video on making homemade liqueurs with the fruit that are growing all around us at this time of year. And I thought I'd do this because this is one of those ones where I make jam and people get making jam, and I make wine and people think they get making wine. And then I say I make a blackberry whiskey or a plum vodka, and people are like, wow, what's this all about? How do you do it? Because they think it's going to be a hard thing and a difficult thing. And it isn't. It is by far the simplest way of making a flavoured alcohol of any kind that you can do at home. And the principle is as simple as take some blackberries, put them in a jar, pour on some alcoholic liquid and wait. It is that simple. So this is blackberry whiskey, or it's going to be blackberry whiskey. It's only been on a couple of days. Alright, it's tasting pretty good. Gosh, I shouldn't be having much of that at this time of the afternoon, but there you go. It's not that sweet. I can make it as sweet or as sour as I want by simply letting the fruit soak in the alcohol or adding some sugar. And I can add the sugar now if I want to, or I can do something which I find more interesting, which is I can add the sugar later. And there's two ways of doing that. The first way, what I did with these plums, is you soak the plums in the alcohol, in this case vodka. They were left in there for about 3 weeks. These are cherry plums, Prunus cerasifera, from early in the season. They're the ones that you get, little red ones, yellow ones, purple ones, green ones, growing in sort of hedgerows. They're little sweet plums. They were soaking in vodka for a few weeks, and then I took the vodka off and I put it in a bottle of vodka. It doesn't have to be the best vodka, it can be quite cheap stuff. Take off the vodka, put on some sugar syrup and leave it. And the sugar syrup has got a higher osmotic strength than what's inside the plums. So you soak a lot of that vodka back out into the sugar. You then pour something into this bottle, back into the vodka, until it's sweet enough. You don't need to over sweeten it. For my palate it wants to be quite sweet but not over the top. And then you leave the rest of it back in the jar. This was originally done in 2 jars, but I then put all of the cherry plums back into 1 jar with a bit of sugar syrup left on top. And they're now sweet and delicious and just a little bit alcoholic. They'll be good for Christmas still. The sugar and the alcohol preserve those just fine. Sweet as sugar, really, sweet as sugar. The other way, I've done with these apples here. That again was vodka. Ignore the rather nice whiskey bottle. It wasn't nice whiskey, it was cheap vodka again. Actually, it was out of that big bottle there. The apples are soaked in the vodka. About a month, these ones. These are just some thinnings from my Bramley apple tree, but you can use wild apples, you can use crab apples, you can use whatever you can find growing. And after pouring the vodka off, all I did was I put some sugar in, and I shook it up. And as you can see, it's now half full of syrup. And effectively what happens when you put the sugar in, is by having a higher osmotic strength, it again draws the fluid out. So you end up with this sweet, appley liquid, with just a fair amount of alcohol in it too. And after a few more days of this, I'll be pouring that into there. So I didn't have to make the sugar syrup up, just put the sugar on, pour some of that back into the whiskey bottle, or rather vodka bottle, and you've got your apple liqueur. It's as simple as that. You don't have to be any more complex at all. If, however, you want to, you can be a lot more subtle. You can take whatever spirit you like. Again, I tend to use an unflavoured spirit. And I tend to then soak individual spices, cardamom, fennel seeds, coriander, whole load of others, saffron, cinnamon. So the whole lot of other spices in small amounts of that alcohol, and use quite a lot of the spice, use quite a high concentration. And then you take that extract and you blend it with a little bit of the fruit's alcohol. By doing this, you can start experimenting with flavours, and you can start producing far more complex, far more in-depth, as it were, liqueur flavours. So I'm trying out this year a little bit of plum with cardamom. Previously I've used pear and vanilla. Cherry vanilla is also very, very good. Or for cherry, I tend to use brandy rather than vodka. If you want to cook the whole hog, you can get a whole load of juniper berries and flavour some alcohol with that, and mix that with other spice flavours and blend something which tastes almost like gin, but probably not like good gin. But with that gin flavouring, start adding other things where you're liking, add some lemon balm, add some apple, and start making some quite complex flavours. Anyway, The point of this is not to make it sound difficult. The point of this is to make you realise just how easy this is. Later on I'm going to just take these blackberries, I'm going to pour it off, I'm going to put some sugar on top, and I'm going to let the sugar draw some more juice out of the blackberries and draw some of the alcohol back out. I'm going to flavour it just enough with the sugar to stop it being too sour to drink. And that's it. The whole process will take, I don't know, it went on Sunday. Probably by next Sunday I'll have the drink ready. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll add more of these sort of homecraft videos if people want. I've got a few mushroom ones up there already. All these fruits here are available wild in Cambridge. They're relatively easy to find. But you can experiment with anything you like. I think pears make wonderful liqueurs with vodka. I've previously flavoured gin with quinces. You can sometimes forage those if you find things like japonica planted by councils. Raspberries in vodka make a fantastic drink. Take your pick. Thank you very much.